Hello and welcome to CBT module number 7, Managing Our Feelings. Now that we've discovered that the places we go to or the things we do may be producing strong feelings for us, examples, feeling anxious when you go out or feeling relaxed and happy on your own, we try to do things or go to places that give us pleasant feelings, and we try to avoid those that make us feel unpleasant. And this seems to make sense. I mean, after all, none of us want to feel unpleasant. But sometimes our feelings take over and they stop or limit us from doing what we really want to do or living our life. So for example, you may want to go out, but because you feel so anxious, you don't go. Right? Or you may want to call a friend, but because you're unhappy, you feel unable to do this. At these times, the way you feel is stopping or preventing you from doing the things you really want to do. So learning to manage your feelings will help to break down these barriers. So I want to give you some ways that you can learn to manage your feelings. So first, learn to relax. There are different ways in which you can learn to relax. Some methods will take you through a series of physical exercises to tense and then relax each of the large muscle groups in your body. Others will teach you to imagine relaxing pictures in your mind, and these calming images will help you to feel more pleasant. It's important to remember the following, that there is no one way of relaxing. People find different methods useful at different times. And it's important to find what works for you. Okay, so what works for you may not work for your friends, or what's working for your friends may not be for you. So try very hard not to compare yourselves to what others are doing. Second, physical relaxation. This method usually takes about 10 minutes and is very useful if you feel constantly tense or wound up. So using a series of short exercises, all of the major muscle groups. So these exercises will target the major muscle groups in your body, and they're tensed for about 5 seconds and then relaxed. Concentrate on what the muscle feels like when they are tensed and what they feel like when they're relaxed. You will find that some parts of your body will be more tense than others. So try to find the very tense areas. By the end of that session, you should feel completely relaxed. So enjoy that pleasant feeling. So take notice of what it feels like, that pleasant feeling, after you've done that exercise. A number of people like to do these exercises before they go to bed. So I don't think it really matters when you do the exercise. But if you do it before bed and you fall asleep, like everything else, the more you practice, the better and faster you'll become at relaxing. Okay, so some people will fall asleep, others won't. It's not mandatory to fall asleep while you're doing this exercise. But there are some things you want to consider before you start doing this type of exercise, which is choose somewhere warm and quiet. Okay, either sit in a comfortable chair or lay on your bed. Choose a time where you won't be disrupted, and tense your muscles just enough to notice what it feels like. So I don't want you overdoing it, all right? Just tense them enough to notice what it feels like. So some people find that physical exercise is an effective way for them to help manage their emotions, okay? So physical exercise doesn't necessarily have to be that progressive muscle relaxation technique that I've just explained to you. But it could be something just as quick as a run, a brisk walk, a swim, any type of exercise that's going to rid you of those emotions or manage the emotions. So if physical exercise works for you, then use it. It may be particularly useful to try it at those times when you notice the emotion at its strongest. Okay? Third, controlled breathing. There are times when you may suddenly start to become tense or angry, and on these occasions you won't have time to go through, any kind of exercise or relaxation. Controlled breathing is a quick method in which you concentrate and gain control of your breathing. You can use this method anywhere, and often people don't even notice what you're doing. So slowly drawing in a deep breath, holding it for 5 seconds, then very slowly letting it out. And as you breathe, say to yourself, relax. Doing this a few times will help you regain control of your body and help you feel calmer. So fourth is calming pictures. So with this method, you make yourself feel more pleasant by thinking about the things that you find pleasant or restful. So you might think about a dream place, being by the ocean or being in nature. It could be some place that you've actually been, or it can be a completely imaginary place. But if you imagine a picture of it and make the picture as restful and peaceful as possible, okay? Try to make the picture as real as you can, and think about things like if you're at the beach or the ocean side, think about the noise of the waves crashing on the beach, or if you're just out in nature, the wind blowing into the trees, or the sea, smell or scent of the pine forest, the warm sunshine, the wind blowing in your hair. So you want to make it as real as possible and try to bring in some of those senses. Fifth, relaxing activities. There will probably be some things that you enjoy doing which make you feel good. Okay, examples might include reading a book or watching TV, listening to music, or taking the dog for a walk. If a particular activity makes you feel good, then try doing it when you notice the unpleasant feelings. You may only be able to do this at certain times, but if you are, sitting around, for example, worrying on your own about tomorrow, try reading a book, or sitting in your bedroom feeling unhappy, maybe watch some TV. Or maybe lying in bed feeling uptight because you can't sleep, then maybe putting on some relaxing music. Experiment and see if you can stop those unpleasant feelings. Lastly is prevention. So sometimes we're aware of our feelings, but often we leave it too late to do something about it. At these times, our feelings become too strong, and no matter what we do, we just can't seem to regain control. We need to learn to identify these times so that we can try to manage our feelings before they get too strong. So I'm going to use an example here, my fictitious friend Jimmy's temper. Okay? So Jimmy often felt very angry and became very wound up. This seemed to happen very quickly, and when he lost his temper, it took him a long time to calm down afterwards. He went from 0 to 100 in a blink of an eye, and before he could stop, Jimmy would explode. So he tried to gain more control over his angry feelings, but just couldn't. So he decided to review his anger thermometer to see what clues he missed, and identified his thoughts and challenged them. He then chose a coping strategy to help him manage how he felt. Here are some hints. There are many different things you can do to help you feel better. Choose methods that feel right for you. Remember that they won't always work, but do stick with them anyways. The more you practice, the more likely it is that these methods will help. So I want to leave you with something in conclusion. We all have unpleasant feelings. It happens to everyone. We all have emotions, and some of them make us feel better than others. But sometimes these feelings become very strong, and they become difficult to manage, right? So you could be very angry, very sad, very frightened. You may not know what to do with those feelings, okay? So I have a challenge for you. It's called the Feeling Strong Room. So when you feel very unpleasant, you may want to try locking these feelings away somewhere safe so that they don't bother you so much. So find a box, a shoe box, any kind of box. Make it into your strong room. Decorate it as you wish. Color it. stamp it, whatever you're going to do, okay? When you feel very unpleasant, get some paper and write or draw your feelings out. Think about what it is that's making you feel like this and write about it or draw about it or do both. Once you've finished, put these feelings away in that strong room. And at the end of the week, I want you to open your box and talk about your feelings with someone you trust. So that might be a friend, it might be your parents, it might be your therapist. But talk about those feelings. Okay? Here's a hint. Putting your unpleasant feelings away in a strong room may help you feel better. Okay, so that's your challenge. Good luck.